The Ward Theatre is a beautiful old lady. I mean, it had all the attributes of a real theatre. The sound, the Regal and Premier Cinema were the two last cinemas that I remember was built. So the seats were much more luxurious than what you had at the Carib. The first drive-in was on Washington Boulevard.
Yes, I remember that one.
Yes, well, that one now
Opposite where
turned to
Michi is now, right?
JPS got took it over.
Okay.
When you go out on a date like that, the first thing I used to do is to make sure I wear tight pants. You wear your tightest pair of jeans, so no hacky packy can go on. Don't laugh, but it's true. Yes. Yeah, Don Drummond and all that. Scatterlights were hot, hot, hot. You ever go to like glass?
Based on my last video, we're going to touch on some more things about Jamaica's past. And this time around, we're going to look at the theaters. And we're going, I mean, what I recognize and the entertainment, I realized that there were more theaters back then than now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
I only know, I know Carib, I know Harborview driving.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, back in the day, every borough, every little neighborhood had a cinema because that was the center of entertainment. TV wasn't that popular. They had TV, but you had to be well-to-do to afford TV. So you had every little neighborhood had thing. And then eventually Palace Amusement sort of became a monopoly.
Right.
And they took over everything. So Palace Amusement is who have Carib Theatre, the Grahams.
Right.
So they have Carib Theatre, they have Sovereign Centre, and they have one in Ocho-Rios, one in Mandeville, and one in Portmore. But at a certain point in time, it must have been probably 80s, early 80s, so it became a monopoly. So all the old cinemas in all the neighborhoods just fell away. And interestingly, a lot of them became churches.
True. State.
State is a church.
Yeah.
There was one on Sliphead Road, Rialto, that became a church. Some of them disappeared altogether.
Which one?
Well, a quiz. We could have a quiz. What became of ex-theatre?
True.
Right, because I can give you the hints though. Regal, which is the newest one in Crossroads. Regal is now Azan's, right? State Theatre is a church.
Right.
Premier, you see Premier Plaza?
Yeah.
And the bank, I think it's Scotia Bank.
Yeah.
That used to be Premier Theatre, cinema.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not
It was
know
a
that.
beautiful cinema in Premier Plaza.
Wow.
Yes. And then on Spanish Town Road had several. It had Majestic, it had Ambassador, which is the other one, the Globe. No, Globe was in Vineyard Town. Globe disappeared. I passed through Vineyard Town trying to find it, and it don't exist at all.
So which one was that the marquee one then of the time?
It was always Carib or State. The ones
really?
in Crossroads, yes.
So they were always big from even then?
Yes. Carib was a huge, just one auditorium. It was massive. And Carib was where they used to have like the Sonny Bradshaw, big band music, and any other big entertainment like that used to be there. The Ward Theatre downtown was where we had live performances of plays and sometimes,
How would you, I mean, because I went to Ward Theatre recently and I really hope they do refurbish it, right?
It's a shame.
But it was mostly for commuters. Like, how would you, because there was no parking really down there.
Right, across on Church Street, on the opposite side of the theatre, was where the parking was. I don't know if it has been built up. You saw an open area there on Church Street?
Okay.
Still? You see it's still there?
No, I don't see that.
On Church Street divide Ward Theatre and the parking. You never saw it?
No.
So that was where we parked.
Oh, that was where you parked?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
then.
But the Ward Theatre is a beautiful old lady. I mean, it had all the attributes of a real theatre. The sound.
Do you recognize any of these items? Well, test your Jamaica knowledge at kareemsquest.com.
The sound there, the acoustics at Ward is unparalleled.
Really?
Absolutely. Because you could be on stage You never had to use mic. You just throw your voice and right up to the balcony, top balcony, which we call fall roofs. You could hear everything.
So wait, why is it fall roofs?
Fall roofs because it was way up at the top, steep. When you going up those steps, you feel like you fall, and you had bird's eye view.
So it was more expensive seats?
No, those were the cheapest seats. But it was well called for fall roofs because you could see everything and hear everything. So even though you might have to use binoculars to,
Oh yeah, okay.
if you want to see if Randy Williams brush him teeth, you have to use binoculars. But it was a
Did you
beautiful
remember the
theater, and I remember too, not only the acoustics, but the lighting, the equipment that they had, the changing rooms for the actors, because I was a stage person too, you know.
Oh really?
Yeah, and the backstage was so beautiful, well put together. Nice. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Wow.
It's a shame. We need to refurbish the ward.
How frequently were shows held at Ward?
Well, at least once a year. At
Okay.
least.
So what happened in
The
between that
pantomime.
time?
Yeah, in between that time, you would have conventions. People used to rent it for things like that.
Okay.
So you have conventions. The ward, for instance, I remember when I was in the Foreign Service, I was director of protocol at the time. When General Colin Powell came to Jamaica and he was presented with the keys of the city of Kingston, the ceremony was there at the Ward Theatre.
Wow.
Yes, and it was full. So they used to rent it for things like that and for live shows. Yeah.
What is a pantomime that stood out the most to you?
You asked me a question the last time. You want to hear it
Yeah, I
again?
want to hear it again.
Queen's Daughter.
Queen is
Queen's Daughter. That is with
Bennett.
Lloyd Kelly Barrow. She was at the time. Louise Bennett. It was hilarious. Hilarious. Because they were just so good counterfoils to each other. So the plot was that Lloyd Kelly Barrow was an uptown lady. She was a dressmaker. And she tried to pretend that she was uptown, but she really come from country. Because Louis knew her from Bush, from which they used to live in country. But she has now climbed up the social ladder. And she has a boutique. She was malaprop, you know.
So boutique,
yes,
not boutique.
boutique. Yeah, she ran a boutique. And she was not just a seamstress. She was, you know, a coutier.
Yeah.
She can't even pronounce the word good, but you know. And then, so Miss Lou, her daughter was going to get married, and she wanted a dress for her to build a frock for her. So she got to. It was hilarious.
Wow.
It was hilarious.
Persons.
I'm so sorry. I wonder if it wasn't filmed. If they have any recordings of it.
I doubt it. I remember that there was a major fire that took place at JBC.
Okay, and it burned up. Yeah,
you get me. But persons, if you remember Queen's Daughter, please put it in the comment section. If you remember what the plot was, please put it in the comment section. So let me ask you then, apart from Miss Lou and Ronnie Williams, were there any other, you know, really,
shows? Yes.
No, real like great stars,
yes,
actresses of the time?
Right. Yeah, man. They had the Jamaica Operatic Society was very active at the time. I remember seeing a Gilbert and Sullivan production at the Ward called The Mikado, right? And Mercedes Kirkwood was the opera star. She was the lead singer. She was fabulous. And Norman Ray used to do productions there too. Then you had Lloyd Record. Yeah, so I saw Gilbert O'Sullivan's oh gosh, what's the name of that show? Oh gosh, I don't remember the
Is
name.
that same like a play?
Yeah, it's a play. It's a play, but it was about a sea thing. I remember the name just now. But you had the Mikado was based in Japan.
Okay.
And then you had this one that I can't remember. I don't know if any of my listeners can remind. It was a Gilbert and Sullivan play about the military, the Marines, seafaring thing. And
So
it was,
persons,
yeah,
if you know what this is, please write it in the comment section.
Yeah.
And remember, if you want to read our extensive work on transportation and the train system and the planes and everything like that. It's on my website, kareemsquest.com. I'll put the link in the description section. So tell me now, for the smaller theaters, were they cheaper to enter into?
Yes, it was. It was. I don't remember the exact
Which one was
price.
yours? Like,
I used to go to Regal, Carib,
could you
State.
could you tell me a little bit about the layout of Regal? What was that like? The experience walking?
Right, Regal was a fairly new. The Regal and Premier Cinema were the two last cinemas that I remember was built. So the seats were much more luxurious than what you had at the Carib. You know, the seats could you could lean back and
Really? You could
slide back.
recline?
You could recline, and the lobby was much more stush. You know, it had a nice tush. It had a cathedral ceiling, I remember, and it had a nice balcony and stuff.
How much we talking to enter a theater?
Probably about 75 cents a dollar, like about like a US dollar. A US dollar at the time was 7 shillings. So 7 and 6 was the price for cinema.
What
You know.
what were you eating? Popcorn,
Yes,
soda.
yes, soda, popcorn. Popcorn was always a thing, a snack for cinemas somehow. Brought down by the Americans, no doubt. But you could get patty and stuff.
Okay.
No, I don't think they encourage patty because the cross.
Cross.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And were they also still overpriced?
Yes, because the concessionaires, you know, they have
That's
to
how they
make
make
their
their
money.
money.
They make their money. Yeah, so it was overpriced. But you go to the cinema expecting to eat popcorn. So no matter what it costs, you have to factor that in.
When you were going to cinema, what year was this, and about, what age were you?
Age, yes. Remember, I came to Kingston, as I said, in 61. So I would have been a young teenager, you know, like 13, 14, 15.
Okay, okay.
So going to um, those days, I don't think I was allowed to have a boyfriend yet,
Okay.
right? So I would go with my brothers or my friends. You can't go with boyfriend. But then later on now, when we had drive-in, the first drive-in was on Washington Boulevard.
Yes, I remember that one.
Yes, well, that one now
Opposite where
turned to...
Michi's now, right?
JPS took it over.
Okay.
Yeah,
To find all the Kareem's Quest content in one place, visit the website kareemsquest.com. You'll see colorful adventure stories, a lot of pictures of Jamaica's beautiful landscape, and articles that highlight the many unique things about Jamaica. It's all at kareemsquest.com.
Okay.
Yeah, it had
Yes,
some.
yes.
It had, right. So Washington Boulevard was a cinema, and then they had one, believe it or not, in Mona Heights. They had.
Yeah, what's that name? You remember?
I don't remember the name, but it's right before you go under the aqueduct. Yeah. So it's a church now.
Yes, it's a church
It's
now.
a church
gas
now.
station
Right.
beside it.
And where the cars would park
Yeah.
is where Grenells have their driving school. Kind of. They
Yes.
use it as a practice thing.
Right.
But the cars used to be there. That big open parking area. That
serious?
was yes. And then the screen would be along the building that is now the church.
I wonder why they all have to go to churches? Like, I wonder.
Because they had the seating, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so and then the third drive-in that was popular for a long time was Harbour View. You know Harbour
Yeah,
View.
I knew Harbour View.
Right. Harbour
And
View.
it was really the way you call it again, it was really, I
Premier,
think
yeah.
the hurricane that messed up Harbour View Theatre, right?
Yes. Gilbert. I think it was Gilbert or Ivan.
No, I think it was Ivan.
Ivan, yeah.
Ivan just leveled it.
Yeah. But I used to love to go to Harbour View drive-in. And part of the fun was you go in your pajamas or
I just sit down and watch a movie.
yes, and of course when they had the 16 and over, so they had, in other words, there's an age limit, X-rated.
Right.
You would go and hide underneath. So you have the adult driver and you hide it underneath the seats. Yeah, we certainly had fun.
Oh my goodness. So what about the ones in like Spanish Town? What was the decor and the layout like for those?
You mean on Spanish Town Road?
Spanish Town Road.
I know
Sorry.
I've never been in them, but
Okay.
but they were just looking from the facade from outside.
Yeah.
I figured they were just like any other cinema. The only other cinema outside of those main ones in town that I mentioned,
Yeah.
like State and Regal and Premier, that I've been to, was when I was a child in Montego Bay. We had two cinemas there. We had Stage, named Stage, and Coral Theatre.
Okay.
The Coral Cinema was the only open air cinema that I ever know about. It was an
Odeon.
open air.
I know what Odeon.
Odeon was open air too?
So Odeon is where the transportation center
Is now there,
right?
yeah.
So whenever it rain.
Yeah,
But
it's
anybody went to Odeon, you know. Like
yeah.
Odeon, there was no sense of exclusivity.
Yes.
Right? The bag juice man will come out and just go.
Yes, but what I found funny with the Coral Theatre in Montego Bay, they used to have a section called 10 and 6.
What is tenancy?
10 and 6 was on the hill, Cornwall Hill behind the cinema.
Yeah.
And those people who would go there and watch the cinema couldn't hear the sound, but they get see free because it's up there, so you could see the screen and you could watch cinema.
Same thing with Odeon.
So they call it 10 and 6.
10 and 6.
10 and 6 because that was like higher than 7 and 6.
Yeah, it's true. So you're the seat free.
Yes,
We have to interpret it.
Yes. You have to lip read.
It was the same thing with Odeon Theatre. But it was like it's an open thing. You know what I mean? It was mid smack dab in the middle of Harper Tree, and you would just go and sit down. But if it start raining, you know, like if the 75% of the show that start raining, go on, you know.
But Jamaican people afraid of rain, as you know. I don't know if we think that we're going to melt, but Jamaican people don't love rain.
We don't like rain. So
once
it start rain,
you have to protect your mole.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you will get cold. But Kareem, back in those days, if you ask me about entertainment, what we used to do as children to entertain ourselves, because we never had TV, we never had phone, so you either go to the cinema or we used to play games.
Okay.
We used to play lots of games. So for me, in my family, it was Scrabble and card games.
Right.
And at school now, officially at school, we'd have ring games, all kind of ring games. So, you know, red light, Mr. O'Brady says, yes, O'Brady says, do this, you know that one?
No, sir. Well, no, Simon says.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
We just say O'Grady says.
Okay.
Right. Simon says or O'Grady says. And the usual thing, you know, brown girl in a ring. And one of them I used to like was, I never heard children with it. Oh gosh. We used to make like a tunnel.
Yeah.
You hold up your hands and then you have to run in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Yes.
I don't know what that game is. Because even though, like, I went to a primary school the other day to speak to some kids, and I was like, what do you guys play? Because you're on their tablets. So I don't know what physical activity.
No, it's a pity. Because, of course, the boys used to entertain themselves making truck. And
marble.
Yes, marble. And they used to have like a wheel. And then they have the stick that guide the wheel. And they were very skillful. Very, very skillful, even when they're making truck.
Yeah,
and of course, when you're in the country and you have hill, you know, that whole thing about skating down, that's where the bobsled people built on. Because they had competitions, you know.
It's true.
Yeah, so, but outdoor activity, that's the main thing. Kids those days used to run outside and play ring games and play, you know.
Wow.
Play.
Yeah.
Play scrimmage football. I was on my brother and neighbors in the area in Vineyard Town. They used to have scrimmage football and they draw you in. Even though you're a girl, they need a side.
Yeah, need one more player.
Right, I usually have to do keep goal or something like that.
It's true.
Yes, I keep goal.
It's true because
I couldn't do tackling and all of that, but I could have keep goal.
They would always ask somebody, so you listen, just stay at the goal and defender will help you out.
Right, and we used to play cricket too. We used to play backyard cricket like that.
Wow,
yeah.
Wow.
But the main thing is that we were moving. We
Staying
weren't
active.
sitting down, moving your fingers. You know, these days though, the kids just moving them thumb.
All I want is internet.
The littlest babies.
Yeah.
You ever see these little toddlers,
Yes.
and the parents just give them a tablet to keep them quiet?
Yeah.
That is not stimulating.
No, you have to engage them physically too.
No.
And it also causes, it must be linked to a lot of non-communicable diseases
Yes.
as they get older because you're not
Yes.
stationary and you're not
Yes.
developing your motor skills.
Right. And I mean, you know, some children, I don't know if you can catch autism,
Right.
but some of this, you know, I find kids on the autistic spectrum where they are deficient in socialization.
Yes, they have social anxiety.
That's because they have not been socialized with their peers.
They have social. Listen,
Yeah.
I have a problem now. Even when I see persons in my own era, they'd rather call an authority figure than go over to somebody and say, hey, could you just turn down this for me, please? They don't know how to break the ice, so to speak. So they would rather search for authority
And
figures.
sadly, we don't, with mediation. Why conflict can't be mediated now is that we have lost those social skills.
Yes, we have lost social skills.
We have lost those
So even
social skills.
how to approach somebody, how to break down a situation, we're struggling with that.
Yes.
It's true.
And that is because we no longer interact with each other.
It's true. That
Yeah,
is
it's so
true.
sad.
Persons, you can find so much of my content on my website, kareemsquest.com. Even my quiz on the JOS buses. You have more quizzes on Jamaican plants and fruits. You should check out that one. It's really cool, persons, right? And you even have Cecile's own article about Jamaica's transportation system. I know we're talking about the entertainment system. So if you were like a teen them time that you're going out on a date, let's say, yeah, you're 17, 18, you're going out on a date. Where is somebody carrying you?
Usually a soda fountain.
Okay, then.
You know what a soda fountain is?
No.
All right, we
I
had
know
a
fountain.
yeah, we had a few soda fountains where you can get sundaes and banana split
Okay.
and hot dog and so on. We sound American-y, but it's
Does it?
true. It was
The
very
GI them.
it was very Americanized, very Americanized. So the popular one was Oxford Pharmacy. You see where Oxford Medical Center is now?
Yes.
Right at the corner of Oxford Road and Old Hope Road.
Yes.
That was a beautiful pharmacy. That was a beautiful pharmacy, and the soda fountain was upstairs. So you go upstairs, and you that is your date. And then further up the road on Old Hope Road, there's a place called Monty's Inn. Monty's Inn, and they have a little restaurant there too, where you could get hot dog and hamburger and stuff like that.
Okay.
Another place would be like,
What money what about here, so now?
you know, you would need at least $5 a piece.
Okay. So would the guy pay for both? How would it work?
Yes,
The
yes, the
guy
guy
would
would
pay,
pay. The guy would pay. One of the things I have to tell, when you're going out on a date like that, the first thing I used to do is to make sure I wear tight pants. You wear your tightest pair of jeans, so no hacky packy can go on. Don't laugh, but it's true. I remember that you don't go out on a date in a skirt,
True.
unless you want things to happen.
See, life not changing for people because my era, same thing.
Same thing.
Right.
Yes, you wear tight
Yeah,
pants. man.
vex. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And worse, if him can't get a kiss, like at the end of the day, feel like him wasting money too.
Yes, you wasting money. Yeah.
So wait, why would it be called a soda fountain if you're getting ice cream on Sunday? I would think it's just soda you're getting.
No. I think that is just a borrows from the States.
Okay.
They used to call it soda fountain. We get soda. And then you also had, very much like America, you had jukebox. So you put in the money and you play the music, you know, you spin a record and so
Right.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it? So this era, what year we're talking about?
We're talking about early 60s. Just after independence, like 62, 63, 64.
So you're still in ska era then, right?
Yes.
What was the song like you looked to play on the jukebox? Was it local songs or international songs?
No. By that time, we're into our local music.
Okay.
So you had, you know, Humpty Dumpty sat upon the wall.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Yeah.
That was the. I remember when.
Wait, did your parents do like what you guys did to us and said that was Boogie Yaga
Of
music?
course, of course, of course. What kind of Bugu Yaga music that? You know, of course, I remember when the Wailers,
Mm-hmm.
when Bob Marley came out, the Wailers, it was called the Wailers.
Mm-hmm.
One of their early tunes I remember was Simmer Down, Simmer Down.
Mother,
Yes, Simmer Down.
control your
Yes,
temper.
yes. Oh, that was very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at St. Hugh's, we had a Easter parade where we had to do innovative hat designs and so on. And me and my best friend at the time, Lorna Goodison, man, we did a hat with a pot,
Mm-hmm.
like a pot on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
And the music that accompanied us was Simmer Down. And I think we won. It was,
Really?
yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
it was innovative those days.
That was for like what, a school?
A school function. It was an Easter hat parade for
Mm-hmm.
this. It was a school function.
Okay then.
Uh-huh.
So take me through it then. So at 1817 you'd go to a fountain,
Soda fountain.
soda fountain.
Uh-huh.
You're
Cinema.
at 22, 23, what does a date look like? An entertainment oriented date
At,
look
at,
like
at that age, you can do you go to a party.
Okay.
They have house parties.
Mm-hmm. At
Um,
people's house where them living?
yes, house parties.
Okay then.
So it didn't about in the mid 60s, late 60s, the whole business of following a DJ started,
Okay.
where a young man who is good at spinning records would hire himself out
Okay.
as the DJ at parties.
Mm-hmm.
But before that era, it was just a private thing. You didn't pay no money. You just spin the records that you have, that you own. But there are certain parties that became more popular than others,
Okay then.
right? So back in the day, I remember, I hope I can call name. I can call name.
Sure.
Yeah, man. It was Bonnie Goodison.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was very friendly with the Goodisons.
Wow.
So in Harborview, when Bonnie threw a party,
Yeah. Cock.
you have to go. But and then later on, of course, it's age 20 and
Yeah.
so on. I was at university. So up on campus, we used to have fete. Now that was another phenomenon now because each hall of residence had like a resident band. Not resident, but it was a connected,
So yeah, Taylor
Uh-huh.
band. This
Taylor.
Mercy Court.
Right. So the Taylor band was the Vikings,
Okay.
right? Irving Hall band was Baron Lee, but we were the Vikings.
Okay then.
And another hall, I think, those days the big, really thing band was the Scatterlights.
And those were artists.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Yeah, Don Drummond and all that. Scatterlights were hot. You ever go to like Glass Bucket and stuff and see the Scatterlights?
What is glass bucket?
Glass
You know, so it's true. This is going all over.
Yeah,
me.
no,
What is glass bucket?
Glass Bucket was a club.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't allowed to go clubbing.
Okay.
But it was a club. And they had clubs like that. There was one off Hagley Park Road. What was the name of it? I can't remember the name. But I went once to a club.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on Windward Road. And it was only because my uncle was in town. And he took me.
You remember the name?
I don't remember the name, but what I do remember is being mesmerized because I witnessed belly dancing for the first time. Not not Middle Eastern belly dancing.
Yeah.
Fui kind of belly dancing.
All right. Gyration.
Right. And yeah, but the dancers had big bellies. You can't call it belly dance if you don't have big belly.
Okay.
But they could move that belly.
Wow.
When I tell you east, west, north, and south, they could move that belly. I was mesmerized. I said, my God, to have control over your muscles like that. Yeah. So anyway, as a young adult, I was at university. So, and that was my breakout time because, I boarded.
You get exposure now.
Right. So you're on your own. You don't have nobody to chaperone you. You're on your own.
True.
That was So we had, each hall had wardens and so on and so forth. But for the first time, now I have boyfriend. Right, and so yeah, boyfriend and boyfriend can take you out and so on. But you know, you brought up with your little principles and things. So
Right.
you don't, never really Lego more than so.
Right.
But you go smooch and you kiss and thing under the tree, or we go down by what the place name now, Japanese Gardens.
Yeah.
That is behind the chapel.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I
Yes,
know.
yes, Japanese Gardens. Well, those days it was so safe. So my date would take me like to the students' union. They had a soda fountain there as well.
Okay.
So you
Clearly,
have
soda fountain seems to be big business.
yes, there was one on campus. There was one by Ring Road, which is now NCB.
Yeah. Okay.
The NCB that was soda fountain. That was a Ring Road soda fountain. So soda fountain was a place to go. So they had a soda fountain down at the union. So your date would take you, and and if they had a fete that night, you thing, or if not, you go down. It was so safe that you could linger, go down to the playing fields, and it's safe,
Really?
safe. You wouldn't have to fear anything.
So even though you never went to a lot of these clubs, do you remember any of their names?
Glass bucket sticks in my mind.
Somebody was telling me
Glass
that there's
bucket.
this Meritone.
Oh, Meritone was a following. It was one of those DJ followers, like what I said, Bonnie Goodison.
Got you.
Right. So Meritone started off with just parties with these brothers who were good spinners, What the name again? Remind me.
Me?
Yeah, oh, Marva would have, my friend Marva would have to remind me. Anyway,
Yeah.
it just slipped me.
Yeah.
But there were 4 or 5 brothers of them,
Okay.
and they have things. So, and they became known as Meritone.
Okay.
So you would hang out. Meritone, last time I remember Meritone was on Red Hills Road.
Yes.
On Red Hills Road, they used to think. After that, when violence started and Red Hills Road sort of fell apart, and then they went to up by Ligani there. What's the name of that restaurant?
Ligani.
Something Falls.
Okay, Waterfalls.
Waterfalls, right. That's where Meritone hung out.
Okay.
Yes, but basically these DJ spinners, they would just go to, they would just rent themselves out. So you have a location or you have a party, a house party.
You just tell them to come.
Right.
Okay. Well, listen, this was another educational episode for me. If you love it, write something in the comment section. If there are topics that you want Cecile to discuss, write it. I mean, what do you call? You're 75 years old. What do you call that?
I have a good memory.
No, but they call like, you have centurion.
Yeah, what you call a 75-year-old?
Yeah.
75-year-old, there's no such thing. Not centenarian. No, there's nothing.
I know it's not. I know.
Centenarian.
So listen, persons, she has a wealth of knowledge. You can go to my website, find her article about transportation, where she talks about the JOS buses, the trains, the ferries,
planes.
Things like that, the planes, stuff like that. So you can view so much content. You can also go to my quiz page where you can find out quiz on the JOS buses. If you can remember your route, you can go to that. And I also have a planned quiz that I'm coming out with, right? It's also on our website, kareemsquest.com. Continue to stay tuned. And remember to subscribe and to share this video. Share it with as many persons as possible, especially when we want clarity on some of the places. Like, she only remembers glass
bucket as a club.
Glass bucket as a club. We want to know the other clubs that existed in those times, all right? So write that in the comment section.
Soak up the sun on pristine beaches, ride horses through the ocean, feel the zipline rush. With Kareem's Quest Tours, discover Jamaica's hidden gems, find amazing places to stay, and learn the secrets of our island plans. Your unforgettable adventure awaits.